This is an excerpt from the commencement address delivered by Thomas, graduating senior from the Amherst College, class of 22-5, in his speech titled Stay Green that uses a stolen green to-go box as a central metaphor to share 3 key life lessons with his fellow graduates: stay green, pickle, and bridge.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the senior chosen by the class of 2025 to address you this morning, Thomas Ye, who graduates today with a double major in mathematics and political science. Tom.
I have to make a confession. I stole something from Amherst and never gave it back. I've kept it for 4 years, and it's followed me across dorms and semesters. I have to come clean. I stole a green to-go box. Remember these? For those of you who don't know, Amherst bought these during COVID to encourage eating outside our dining hall. They were a symbol of convenience, avoidance, stench. Then suddenly, they were gone. Ask anyone from the class of 2026 onwards, and they'll have no idea what we're talking about. But we remember. Some of you might remember these green boxes as an unwelcome COVID reminder. But I see something different, a philosophy. Because inside this box are 3 important lessons that I'm taking to go. Lesson 1, stay green. And I don't just mean eco-friendly green. Remember how green and naive we were freshman year? How in our first month at Amherst, we'd sit next to anyone in the Val tents. No hesitation, no awkwardness, just, hey, mind if I join you? Then for 4 years, we've collectively forgotten how to do that and refused to say hi even when we know someone. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Casey. Why won't you say hi to me? I've noticed this month that a lot of us have suddenly remembered because the end is near. Why did we wait? I wish we all stayed green and channeled the spirit of freshman year more. Look, I know it's hard to stay that optimistic. We as a class have been through a lot together. We've survived a global health pandemic. We've witnessed a war in Ukraine. And we've experienced a huge presidential transition. I mean, when President Elliott came in and took over from Biddy Martin, everyone was up in arms. Another straight white guy. He smiles too much. And why is he lurking at the rave? At first, I was skeptical too. But I've come to realize that what unsettles us about our friendly neighborhood president is just that he's stayed green. He's embodied the best parts of freshman year, saying hi to everyone, going to every event on campus, and getting himself into a lot of awkward conversations. I've seen this friendly greenness in a few others. Renee, who brightens everyone's meal as we enter Val. Math Professor Contreras, who sits with anyone for breakfast. And future CEO of LinkedIn, D.A. Mavani, who will help anyone with their homework at midnight. What do they all have in common? They kept their greenness. Look, I'm not telling you all to backtrack to freshman year, but let's move forward and not leave behind openness and curiosity. Be intentionally green moving forward. When you walk by a stranger, say hello and look at them, not at your phone. When your friends want to make plans, take it out of the group chat and make it happen. And let's not wait until our 50-year reunion to finally talk to that Amherst classmate you wanted to talk to. It's hard, I know, but that's why we need to be intentional about it. We've left behind many things from freshman year we don't want to see again. Masks, nose swabs, and 3 times Grammy Award-winning artist Common. But let's stay green. Lesson 2. Pickle. Pickles teach us a lot about how to frame our lives. Because fermentation shows us that in the moment, some things look and smell really bad, but give it time, and you get something pretty good. Like pickles, kombucha, or kids. Embrace the rotten, because sometimes a horrible process is what makes us better. And you can only see that in hindsight. So reframe things the next time something doesn't go your way. When you're suffering through the last weeks of your thesis, you're not just in pain, you're becoming a scholar. When you get a B+ in beginner ballet, like I did, you're not just failing, you're pushing your comfort zones. And when housing forces you to move into a Cohen double or forced triple, point is, no matter what you're facing, a tough assignment, an embarrassing moment, or just bad luck, those things are miserable. How are you going to deal with it? Reframe it. Remember, pickles. Embrace the painful and rotten. My family faced one of these very painful moments last summer with a brain cancer diagnosis. Dad, you've beaten the odds, and I'm so thankful that you're here today. At the time, your sickness was one of the most rotten things I've ever experienced. But looking back, that time brought our family closer together than ever. I learned not to hold back my gratitude, my words, or my love. Despite the pain, we all became stronger. We reframed the rotten as growth. The confidence I've grown into this year hasn't come from success. It's come from surviving this hardship and failure. Many times I felt down. I was actually on my way up. So in these first post-grad years, you're gonna be tempted to compare your success to others. But fermentation takes time. So will your success. I hope you're lucky enough to not always succeed immediately, lucky enough to sometimes fail, and wise enough to wait for the process to finish. The process stinks. Sometimes it feels like you're gonna run in circles for no reason at all, but that's when real progress happens. I did track and field, you can trust me. Be patient. Life's a dream, but sometimes it's first a pickle. Lesson 3, bridge. Bridge is a card game that I've played every Sunday since coming to Amherst. I've played with a lot of seniors, and not just my classmates, because when I say I play bridge, people usually go, "Oh, my grandma plays that." So how did I get involved with a hobby of the Margarets and Gertrudes of the world? I started the way many college activities do, hanging out with your friends freshman year. Unlike most activities, I got involved because Big Mike bribed me during orientation week. He said I could get paid to learn a dying card game. So on Sunday, I showed up to North Common Room at 4 p.m. No questions asked. Now, I hated bridge at first. It's a tough game to learn. You sit at a table and play as a partnership with the person across from you. Lots of rules, lots of teamwork, and lots of frustration. But when the $15 hit my Venmo the next day, unemployed freshman me reconsidered. So my friends and I kept showing up week after week to get paid and learn how to play bridge. Before long, we loved the card game itself, founded the Amherst Bridge Club, and began traveling to tournaments across the world, meeting tons of new people. Full disclosure, we don't pay you to play bridge anymore, so I know it's a tough sell. But even if you don't start playing bridge, I hope you'll remember bridges. Because the unexpected gift of bridge has been the connections it's built me. Bridges that span generations and geographies. Bridge isn't just a card game. It's about partnership. We share strategies with each other, yes, but also stories and life lessons. Each table I've played at is a new conversation and lets me glimpse different life paths. I've played with Jeff, a 40-year-old Canadian teacher, Zia, an 80-year-old Pakistani grandmaster, Bill, a retired biologist, and even Bill Gates. Many friendships I've made through bridge wouldn't have existed if I didn't seek out this connection. So find mentors, learn who to trust, because not all advice is worth taking. Not all advice is worth taking. If you don't believe me, you're already doing a great job. No one does life alone, so lean on our Amherst community. Some of my earliest life advice came from alums who I reached out to. Mike Reed, class of 04, AJ Chianese and Ryan Park, 05, Haoran Tong, 2023, and many, many more. These alums responded to emails from some green freshmen who knew nothing about a career in law, and they spent hours conversing with me. They built me a bridge. Bridges go two ways. What bridge will you build for someone else? In just a few minutes, you'll also be an alum who can start building bridges for others. Take some time to mentor the interns at work, or respond to that Amherst freshman who emails you, because you never know, you might get a shout out at their commencement. Look to receive and create bridges. For me, it started with a silly little card game, bridge. Find your bridge and pay it forward. It's finally time I give my stolen box back. But before I do, seniors, take a moment to ask yourself, what will you take away from your time at Amherst? And what will you give back to others in life after Amherst? It might take a while to answer that, so remember, Amherst isn't going to be just one time or place in our lives. It's going to be an eternal community of friends and a lifelong of explaining that no, we're different from UMass Amherst. When our parents first sent us here, I'm sure that they hoped we'd become less naive and maybe figure out a life plan. But I hope we leave just as green and still a little uncertain about our road ahead. Because as the poet who we named our kind of ugly Frost Library after once said, "Two roads diverged. I chose the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." I hope you choose the roads not taken. I hope you hold on to your greenness and the things many others would leave behind. Because some of those things, like green to-go boxes, are actually worth keeping around. So before I end, I want to thank President Elliott, the Board of Trustees, professors, and all members of the college. You've truly made Amherst special, and it's been an honor to speak today. Thank you, families, for coming all this way. While other commencements get Nobel Prize winners and Kermit the Frog, you got me. Finally, thank you and congratulations, seniors. It was a pleasure to be young with you. As we depart, let's keep these 3 green box lessons in mind. Build bridges, embrace the rotten, and bring our freshman greenness to go.
您好，我们刚刚一起听完了艾姆赫斯特学院 2025年毕业生代表 Thomas Ye 的演讲。他用了一个他说是从学校餐厅偷来的绿色外带餐盒，对吧？
对，那个 to go box。
没错，用这个餐盒串起了3个他觉得离开学校应该要带走的人生启示。
这个比喻本身蛮有巧思的，
真的蛮有意思的。好，那我们就来深入聊聊这场演讲。
好啊，我觉得用一个算是有点疫情时代印记的绿色餐盒来谈初心、困境跟连结，这个设计本身就很聪明。
对，
那我们这次就是从一个刚听完演讲的角度，来看看这个演讲的内容啊、铺陈啊，还有他想传达的讯息。
好，那第一个重点就是保持初心，他用英文说是 stay green。
保持绿色。
对，保持绿色。这个绿色不只是环保那个绿色啦，它指的是比较像是新生刚进来那种有点傻气但很开放很好奇的状态。
对对对，那种还没被磨平的感觉。
没错，他还举例说新生都会很自然地坐在陌生人旁边，然后还开玩笑点名那个 Cassie， 说怎么没跟他打招呼，气氛弄得蛮活泼的。
他举的例子也蛮广的，从餐厅的员工 Rene
对，
到数学教授 Contreras， 甚至是他提到学生一开始有点保持距离的那个校长 President Elliot。他说这些人身上都保有这种绿色的特质。我觉得这里有趣的是，他把这种开放的心态连接到说，你愿不愿意去理解别人，就算是像校长这样有权威的人。
对，他好像在暗示说，就是因为保有这种绿色比较天真开放的态度，才有可能去克服一开始对校长的那些疑虑或是不确定感。
没错，
这也提醒我们呢，在生活中如果可以刻意的保留一点点这样的好奇跟开放，好像真的会带来一些意想不到的连结。
这个保持绿色，我觉得对毕业生来说是一个提醒，但对我们这些可能已经出社会一阵子的人来说，要怎么有意识地去维持，这可能更是一个挑战，对不对？它不只是天真，可能更是一种选择，对不对？
一种选择。
对，选择保持好奇，而不是变得封闭；选择去连结，而不是疏离。如何在那个所谓的世故跟这个初心之间找到平衡，这真的是一个持续的课题。
没错。好，那接着他从绿色跳到一个听起来反差蛮大的概念，腌制 Pickle。对，也就是拥抱那个可能不太舒服、不太好看的过程，就像食物发酵一样。
过程可能臭臭的不好看，
对，但他相信时间会带来好的转化。他举的例子像是写论文很痛苦啊，或是那个芭蕾课拿 B+ 很挫折啊，但他都把它重新定义成，这是成长的养分。
这一部分他分享他父亲罹癌的经历，我觉得展现了蛮大的真诚跟脆弱。
对，那段很感人。
他很坦白说那个过程感觉很糟，他说是 rotten， 对不对？
对 rotten。
但最后反而让家人的关系更紧密，然后他自己也学会怎么去表达爱跟感谢。用这么私人的故事去讲困境及转机，这个力量是蛮强的。
他一直强调那个 reframe 困境，不过我在想一直强调 reframe 会不会有时候反而让人觉得好像不能 push 头承认，我现在就是很痛苦。
这是个很好的点，有可能，或许重点还是在平衡啦。就是说，重新框架是一个很积极的应对方式，没错，但不应该完全取代掉。就只是去承认那个痛苦，去关照那个脆弱本身。
了解。
而且你看，他分享脆弱的那个举动，本身其实也体现了这点。他给毕业生的建议说，成功需要时间发酵，不要急着跟别人比，其实也隐含着对那个过程不容易的理解跟接纳了。
有道理。好，那第3个启示是来自桥梁 Bridge。
这个起源蛮好笑的，他说他大一的时候被学长用5块钱贿赂去学桥牌，
对，用钱收买。
没想到这个反而开启了他跨越世代、跨越地域的连结。对，他提到跟各式各样的人打牌，有加拿大的老师、巴基斯坦的大师、退休的生物学家，
还有比尔盖茨。
对，还有比尔盖茨，就不只是说哦，我认识了很多人，而是更深层的关于学习、信任、寻找导师 mentors， 建立那种有意义的连结。然后他特别感谢那些帮助过他的校友，从 Mike Reed 04到比较近的 Howard Tong 23。
对，他点出了那个校友网络传承的重要性。
没错，而且桥梁显然是双向的嘛。你接受了别人的帮助，也要去想，那我能为谁搭桥？这就不只是个人的发展了，更是关于怎么去建立、维系一个社群。
对，
这其实也邀请听众您去思考，在您的生活里，您可以为谁搭起一座怎么样的桥梁呢？
好，所以总结来说，这个绿色餐盒里面呢，就装了这3样东西：保持初心 （Stay Green）、转化困境 （Pickle），还有建立连结 （Bridge）。对我们来说，这场演讲或许就是提醒我们，不管人生走到哪个阶段，都要有意识的去选择开放，有耐心的去经历过程，然后主动去建立连结。
没错。
他最后引用那个 Robert Frost 的诗作节，也是鼓励大家带着那份绿色特质去走自己的路。
那从演讲本身来看，我觉得他算是蛮成功的。
哦，怎么说？
他用了一个很简单但又很贴切的核心比喻，就是那个绿色餐盒嘛。
对。
然后很流畅的把个人故事、一些幽默的点，还有比较深刻的反思串在一起，结构很清楚，讯息传递的蛮有效的。
而且讲者的姿态不是那种高高在上的说教，
对，他比较像是真诚的跟你分享他的经验跟体悟，所以那个说服力跟感染力，我觉得都还不错。
了解。那最后的问题可能就回到我们自己身上了哦。就像讲者最后留下的那个提问，您会从您的经历中带走些什么？又会为别人建立起什么样的桥梁呢？
对，
这或许就是我们每个人那个独一无二的绿色餐盒里面需要不断去思考、去实践的人生启示吧。
一个值得带走的问题。
没错。好，那这次的探讨就到这边。